Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Let me see who's here first. Lorna Williams, thank you so much for being here first. Greatly appreciate it. Okay, and let me bring my slides up. I think I'm done with my slides, am I? Let me see. Yep. I am done with the slides. So let me get my slides up there and we are good to go. Or are we? I think so. Hmm. Yeah. I this is that point where I start to doubt myself. But yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think so. Okay, I'll just throw that there and then I'll say I'm done. All right. Yep, I'm done. Nope, I'm sure. I'm sure this time. No stalling necessary. I'm done. Mostly done. Okay. Yep, that's it. Uh Lydia Washington is here, Mary H, Katie V, and a host of friends and others. Okay, I'll just get started then. Hmm. So I posted a couple of videos last night. I hope you guys had a chance to watch it. One of the comments, I think it was B10 Pal, said I wouldn't have heard about this if it wasn't for the video. So I hope they're helpful. I really enjoy making them, and I just hope you'll watch them. I did put some links in the community tab for the last two of them I made. One about the Afghan women. It's kind of like the hub kitchen and cooking and storytelling and such. And then the other one, you know what? I forgot what the other one was. I worked on it so hard, I forgot what it was. Katie V, let's see here. What a pleasure to spend my time with you all. Thank you, Katie G. Oh, and thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. All right, very cool. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate you being here tonight. All right, and moving on. It says there, oh, wait, didn't mean to do that. Okay. Tories, tabloids, turn on. Um, you know what? That Ann is in the wrong place. Lord have mercy. Tories, tabloids, and Prince William. Oh, well. Yeah, it's a lot wrong with that. Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan news, etc. One love. All right. And I took my time with that one. Hi, Levy. Thank you for being here. All right. So, happy heavenly birthday to one of my favorite singers of all time. One of my favorite singers of all time. The High Priestess of Soul, Nina Simone. I love me some Nina Simone. Um, my favorite song, of course, is My Baby Just Cares for Me. I have listened to that song so many times. Now, to be honest with you, I can't stand some of those later versions of it, but the one that was in the Chanel commercial, oh, that was epic. That was epic. My baby don't care. Who knows? My baby just cares for me. Yeah, I love that song. High tone places. I love that song. That is like one of my favorite songs ever. And Nina Simone is one of my favorite singers ever. Nina Simone was born on this day. Let's see. Nina Simone, born Eunice Kathleen Wayman, February the 21st, 1933. And she passed away April 21st, 2003. She was an American born songwriter, pianist, composer, arranger, and civil rights activist. Her music spans styles including classical, folk, gospel, blues, jazz, rhythm and blues, R&B, and of course pop. The sixth of eight children born into a poor family in North Carolina, Simone initially aspired to be a concert pianist. Yes, she was classically trained to play the piano. Yeah, classically trained to play the piano. So, anyway, she became the toast of Europe and, of course, these Americas, and lived an incredible life. So, yeah, one of my favorite people. Happily heavenly birthday, Nina Simone. Happy birthday! And I always thought she was so regal and so elegant. There was just something so inspiring and uplifting about her. Great deal of dignity and pride. Of course, one of my favorite stories, I think it was one of those record companies. Did you ever hear the one where she pulled a gun on someone because she wasn't getting her royalties or something like that? When they were telling the story, I saw it on one of the it was a clip of an old interview, and she said, "No, it wasn't a gun. I mean, a knife. It was a gun. Yeah, I pulled a gun on him. I tried to kill him." she she wasn't satisfied with I just brandished a weapon. She wanted you to know that she was trying to take this person out. So that's the Nina I know and love. Um, there you go. Nina Simone, the high priestess of soul. She had a certain style about herself. Love me some Nina Simone. Did you ever see that one little clip where she told this girl, I guess the girl called herself leaving the theater or something like that. And Nina was like not having it. I guess she got up while she was playing, or anyway, um, Nina gave her a little piece of her mind in front of everybody. So that's how she was. I think she, I think nowadays they would probably keep her medicated. But that's okay. She was a genius, and that's why we loved her. But I think nowadays they would probably keep her medicated. She needed some help. But that's just one of the things that's so endearing about her, right? Right. Okay. So, anyway, happy heavenly. Let me say hello to a few more people here. God, I wish I had that clip, but I think, let me see, do I have it? I don't even know if I could play it if I did have it. So, probably better I can't find it because, I don't want to get in trouble. They, what do you call it? You know how they are, them people. So, probably best that I don't. Oh, but if I did. Wait, okay. I will play. I will play it. I will play it. Let me see. Okay. I just have to make sure that there's no song mixed in with it. Okay? Don't say I never did anything for you guys. I just have to make sure that I don't have any song mixed in with it. And then I can play. Okay. Anyway, we're going to take our chances today. How about that? We are going to take our chances today. Uh, wait, did I save it or no? Yeah, let me see. Okay. I think that works. I think that works. So let me do this and then I will share it with you. Uh huh. You can see I'm in a messy mood, right? You can see I'm feeling kind of messy. So messy that I am willing to take my chances. But let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. Let me try this one more time. Try this one more time. Yes, I'm messy. And I'm messy. I feel messy. Cause I'm messy. You know, that should be a song. Instead of happy, make it messy. Okay, I talked all that stuff, but I'm not even sure I can get that over there. Let me see there. Okay, let me try this. And hopefully this works. Hopefully this works. Just to feed my messy mood. And then, of course, I got some dragging to do. I have some dragging to do. Okay.
Hey girl, sit down. Sit down. I know you are jolted because Thursday.
Okay, hold on a second. I was trying to crop it. But yeah, okay, watch it, watch it.
Have the sun all in a blaze. Hey girl, sit down. Sit down. Sit down.
I cannot tell you how many times I have watched that. I cannot tell you how many times I have watched that. I thought that was hilarious. Hey girl, sit down. Sit down. Oh man. I I love that. That was like my best day since Christmas the first time I saw that. I promise you that was like my best day since Christmas. That finger extended like that. And you know she wasn't playing with her. I'm just glad she didn't get up from the piano. That's why I said um, they kept her medicated at a certain point for her own good. For her own good. All right. All right. So there goes the messy. I'm done. I'm done being messy. Let's see. Rositas, thank you so much for 19 months membership. And we love it when you are messy. Me too. Me too. Okay. Hey girl, sit down. Sit down. Yes, she needed something, Black Queen. She needed something. Hey, this world will do that to you though. Sometimes you gotta have something just to take the edge off because this is the crazy world we live in. Or as Moms Mabley would say, have you ever noticed that nowadays if you see someone normal, you think something just ain't right with them? That's what Moms Mabley used to say. She said nowadays, if you see somebody normal, you think something just ain't right with them.
Hey girl, sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Start.
Okay, I got to stop watching that. I gotta stop watching that. Okay, let me move on, you guys. We got some slides to cover, so let me get on with it. Uh, well, I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on this because we have devoted way more time than we should have with this topic. As you know, I've made several videos covering this person, and apparently it I won't say that it was a waste of time, but it cast a light on the Met Police and the way they do things. So Dan Wooten cleared by Metropolitan Police. It is what it is. It doesn't mean that he has freed himself of the taint. Just like with uh, Philip Schofield, uh, it's been a while and he's still not on television yet. They always come back, right? They always come back. But sometimes, you're not going to get the type of justice that you would hope for the people that have been adversely or horribly affected by some people. And such is life, but it's not for us to cast all the judgment in the world on people. But it is good to, talk about these things to expose people that are the evildoers of the world, if you will. But if they say that there's not a case, then that's all to it. He's in the right place to be the wrong type of person. We have seen time and time again that the system protects some of the worst offenders, but you know, legally, I have to say that he has not been charged with anything. He has not been convicted of anything. So, in the eyes of the law, then that makes him okay. That makes him free and clear. I mean, okay as far as his situation, but not okay for the countless people that have suffered because of him, including the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, who probably never met him, haven't done anything to him, but yet he felt as though it was his job to lord over an hour of television day after day and go after people. And if he wasn't on television, he was writing horrible, salacious articles. And of course, we can never forget poor Carolyn Flack, who was driven to the worst possible thing because of him. So, anyway, I'm going to move on and we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But for now, he seems to be free and clear. So, let's see. TMCD says if he's been cleared, then the Met Police is saying it's okay to continue abusing people, allegedly. Exactly. But isn't that the message that they've given for decades? You could go back to Jimmy Savile. You can go to, um, of course, Backstairs Billy. There's been so many Backstairs Billies that have been in the employment of the royal family. An institution like the royal family, where there's such a big hierarchy both with the royal family itself and, of course, the servants. Those are situations that are ripe for abuse. And that's probably why the royal family insists that there should be no oversight as far as their households are concerned. Because I tell you, there is a story to be told about those people that have worked in the royal family or for the royal family, and those are stories that unfortunately are going to be lost to time because um, it's an environment, it's an atmosphere. There's no Me Too for the royal family. There's no Me Too for the royal family. If someone like that sick old man Andrew could walk free and clear, then time is going to erase a lot of things that have happened. They'll just disappear into that dust that lights the glow. So it's unfortunate, but one of these days, one could only hope that those evildoers will get their comeuppance. But let's just hope he doesn't show up on television anymore. I doubt if he's going to end up on GB News again, but you can never say never. It's unfortunate. Let's see. BS Speaks Royally says, doesn't mean he is innocent, just means he didn't have enough to charge or their pockets were lined thickly by, well, pulled pork or sway. Thank you, BS. Absolutely. Absolutely. Somebody's pockets are full. That's probably what it means, that somebody's pockets are full. Okay, so Mayhew, a safe haven for animals. Oh, Red Lady, thank you so much for the super sticker and for being a member of the Royal Sussex. Thank you so much. But yes, how about a nice story about animals? Can't go wrong with that. And of course, I am excluding the Queen Consort, but we're talking about furry four-legged canine companions. Again, this is to the exclusion of the Queen Consort. Okay, let me try this. We're talking about a beast that is capable of sniffing its own privates. Um, again, it has nothing to do with the consort. We're talking about actual four-legged, furry, whiskers, bad breath. Yeah, okay, yeah. We're not talking consorts. No consorts. Hold the consorts. So right here, okay, let me pull this down. All right, okay. So on Wednesday, UK-based animal rescue Mayhew Animal Home opened a new wing in their London facility to transform the home, providing wonderful spaces for enrichment, training, and therapy. The wing, named in honor of Ali Josti, will provide greater care for dogs in need and was dedicated in memory of the renowned dog trainer and animal behaviorist by his friend Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. Ali first introduced the Duchess to Mayhew in 2019, and she became royal patron for the 3-year term. For a 3-year term. They shared many things throughout their friendship, among which was a deep commitment to animal welfare and the love of rescue dogs. Mayhew's mission is perfectly aligned with Ali's life work of caring for animals. When he tragically passed in January 2022, the Duchess, through her Archwell Foundation, made a contribution to Mayhew in Ali's honor to continue his legacy. The Ali Just Wing is a testament to the unwavering love and commitment to our furry friends and will improve the lives of countless animals, reminding us all of the power of compassion, connection, and care. More news. Okay, and care. Oh, more news. I accidentally. Well, anyways, just care. But yeah, didn't mean to add to more news. All right, so there you go. And those photos on the right, that is just from social media. That's not actually from the um, Archwell or the Sussex.com. Well, no, Archwell. It's not from Archwell page. And guys, remember, do make sure you go to the Sussex.com, which will link you to the Archwell page, so we can keep some traffic going through there. But you will find this story over there. Even though I just shared it with you, just go over there anyway and browse through. We're going to get more and more updates. Now, some people are cynically saying that is going to be their social media. It is not social media, but it is an official space where we can learn about things having to do with the Sussexes without it filtering through magazines, even if the person who writes the story is a friendly person to the Sussexes, we can still get it directly from Archwell. But remember, in Montecito, there are no leaks. There's no leaks in Montecito. So, yeah, there you go. That is what's going on with the Mayhew. Raffaella Bertoni, thank you so much for being here. Oh, Church Nelly, thank you so much. That's it, Sussex.com. I don't really need to put that at the top of the chat. You guys can remember that. It's so easy, Sussex.com. They actually paid for the privilege of that domain. Someone else owns Sussex.com. And from what I hear, they paid a pretty penny for it. So that's why we have to use it. But it just makes sense. I mean, since they're using Sussex as the family surname, then it just makes sense. And right here, what is that? Centrum something something. Oh, okay. That's is that in Polish? That looks like Polish. Anyway, we are keeping our fingers crossed for Team Invictus Poland. Oh yeah, it is Poland. Sorry about that. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex. I'm no, sorry, the Duke of Sussex, Harry, and the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle, greet the Polish Invictus team from Whistler. Yeah, so there you go. Veteran Center. Yeah, cool pick like that. Meghan is rocking those boots. And Harry's just wearing some running shoes. All right. And there you can see another photo of them holding up the flag. And there on the left is one of those photos that just kind of came up out of nowhere. There's, I guess, for like the past few days, every time I go on social media, I find some new photos that I haven't seen before. And so most of the photos of Meghan with the coat and the boots were outdoor photos. But if you recall, that is what she was wearing when she first arrived. So obviously that was taken day one. Or was it the day after they arrived? Yeah, I think it was the day after they arrived. Yeah, because I think they spent the night and then the next day they were out. And some sad news, we are heartbroken to have lost such an amazing member of Team USA. Christian not only inspired teammates, but the competitors he faced throughout his journey and lifted up the entire Wounded Warrior community. He will be forever remembered as a true teammate and a friend. So, yes, there's been an unfortunate loss in the Team USA Invictus team. So it's too bad. But yeah, in love and memory of Christian Vega. USA, what is that? U.S. Air Force? Yeah, I think that says U.S. Air Force. Something, something. I can't make that out. But yeah, very sad. Okay. And of course, One Love. One Love. I hear it made over $80 million. Now, I don't know if that was worldwide or US, but anyway, still a lot of money. February is not such a great month for movies, but I will never forget there was a movie that was struggling for relevance. It starred Whitney Houston and Kevin Costner. And I remember when the movie came out, there was a lot of critics that were just like, ugh, not so much, right? But through word of mouth, not to mention the fact that it overlapped with Valentine's Day, it was very successful. As a matter of fact, the soundtrack, I would have to say, really took the world by storm. So there was a few things that really made Bodyguard successful in spite of all of the criticism that was lobbed against it, especially from the critics themselves. They did not like the movie. They were very, what do you call it? Very brutal to Whitney Houston. Essentially, she just played herself, and I thought she was, very good. She's very good. Um, yeah, I loved it, and the chemistry between the two lead actors, I thought it was very good, very good. You could see that there was something there, as they say. But anyway, it was a good movie. Oh, okay. What's that? Rory says, glad to catch Baron live. I was just over at the end of the replay of Duchess of Success. Happy to catch Sherry in live too, and Anne this morning while working. Okay. Well, thank you so much for supporting all of the content creators. Greatly appreciate it. That's what makes this community so strong. So, one love. Well, okay, we got to say it. One of the reasons why they were so successful with the movie One Love is because there was a great deal of attention brought to the movie by the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. So, I mean, I hate to, but still, I mean, yes, there was someone that wrote the movie, produced the movie, and all that kind of stuff. There was a director, great acting and all that. But still, what really pushed it over the finish line was the presence of the Sussexes. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if tourism for Jamaica may have ticked up a bit because of the Sussexes. So all it took was for what's his name, Robbins, whatever his name is, and his wife. They invited the Sussexes to come with, and so they jumped on Air Paramount Pictures. They took their little Paramount plane and went on down there, and well, it just brought a lot of attention. I mean, just think, it was a night much like tonight, and then somebody said something. Was it Black Queen that said, "Oh, you gotta find the picture of Harry and Meghan in Jamaica"? I'm like, Jamaica? What? Jamaica? What would they be doing in? And well, I looked, and next thing you know, what was on for 5 hours that day? We were on for 5 hours hunting for photos and looking at videos and everything. So, yeah, what a fun night that was. All right. Daily Observer. There you can see Prince Harry and Meghan Markle attend One Love world premiere in Jamaica. And of course, there's the Marley family over there on the right. There's Retta. I was told by someone from Jamaica, you don't say Rita, it's Retta. Retta. Got to say it right, Retta. But anyway, there's Retta. And she's the matriarch of the family. And yeah, congratulations to them for this successful endeavor. Okay, moving on. Let the dragging begin. You guys, listen. Listen to me. Y'all were wondering, why is he talking about William? I knew, let's just say I knew that this was going to be problematic. Well, it took a couple of days for people to really show themselves. But as Ann Richards, governor of California, would say, poor George, he couldn't help it. He was born with a silver foot in his mouth. Well, poor Willie, he couldn't help it. He was born with a silver foot in his mouth. He issued that statement, or had someone write it, and then they issued that statement, and I was just waiting for the fallout. I was waiting for the fallout because I knew it was coming. Wait, did I get it wrong? No, Rita. 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 Okay. All right, then I guess I heard it wrong. Thank you so much. But yeah, I knew that they were going to drag him. Let me see. Lady Bird says the Duke of Gaza. That is the first I've heard of that. Okay, so let's go back in the Wayback Machine right there. Prince William is set to resume the role of global statesman, which will see him travel the world to represent Britain abroad. Now, I guess he figured that he was going to get his chops on the world stage as a global leader, right? So, obviously, resume. When did they go to Jamaica? Was this before or after Jamaica? I'm going to say they wrote that article after Jamaica. Yeah, it had to be 2023 because the Queen died in 2022. So William's trip to Poland last week was a key staging post for new position. Oh, I think I know what position that was. That was a position primed for a pulled pork sandwich. You talking about that position where he positioned himself to receive his pulled pork sandwich from that restaurant in what was it, Warsaw, whatever. The thing about it is that trip seemed to upset people for whatever reason. It seemed like that I don't either the government didn't know or Charles did. Anyway, it seemed very ill conceived. I can't recall what happened with that trip. Put it in the comments if you recall. But there was something that went wrong with that trip. But he went down there to thank the British soldiers. They kill me with that going to thank people. Well, we're going to go and thank this person. Well, we're going to go and thank these people. But I think the worst is when they stood outside the house. Remember, they stood outside the house at one synchronized time. Everybody was supposed to stand outside their front door and clap for the NHS workers. Don't clap, give them a raise. Don't just clap, give them a raise. Yes, my Ann Richards, governor of Texas. Love me some Ann Richards. She proved that a Democrat could win in Texas. Unfortunately, they really went after her after she said that silver foot thing. Right. He'll go there for a pulled pork sandwich, but he won't come to Australia to support the Women's World Cup. You're right about that. And that was wrong on so many levels. So many levels that was wrong. But yeah, I knew when I saw that, I said, oh boy, this is going to be fun. And I hope you guys are enjoying the ride because I knew that this was going to happen. They were kind of slow to pounce on him, but today they were all over him like a cheap suit. Prince William wants to be a global statesman, it says. That's from September of 2023. So in March, all the way through September, he kept positioning himself positioning himself to be, you know what I'm trying to say? He was positioning himself to be a global leader. He's going to bring peace to the Middle East. That's his lifelong mission, is to bring peace to the Middle East. Now, you know, he just hired someone from the diplomatic corps that is supposed to help him establish himself as a world leader. And they suspect that person that he hired is the one that drafted that statement with the permission of Downing Street, right? With the permission of Downing Street. So right here, Prince William doesn't want to cut ribbons. As he rebels against traditional role. So just, what was it, yesterday? I think it was yesterday. They let that out that he doesn't want to just cut ribbons. And of course, that comes out the day after that statement, that monumental failure of a statement. You can't just do stuff like that. Um, One thing I know for sure is that the government they bolster their image with the royal family. The royal family is what you call soft power. They have a lot of power, but when they submit something to sign into law, generally the monarch just signs it. There's no debate and all that kind of stuff. Now, a little quid pro quo, they're going to get what they want out of it, but generally they just sign it. There's no, they don't have a right to refuse. Your role is ceremonial. We don't want you thinking. We don't want you thinking. We want you to sign, and we want you to cut ribbons, and we want you to come out there on that balcony a couple of times a year. That's it. You don't have anything else to do. So why make things complicated? So right here, Israelis react with a mix of indifference and irritation to the rare political intervention from Prince William calling for an end to the fighting in Gaza, also known as a ceasefire. Make peace with your brother, Israelis shrug off Prince William's ceasefire plea. Make peace with your brother. Don't tell us what to do. You go and make peace with your. I love it. Ain't that just messy? Ain't that just messy? I love it. Make peace with your brother. Don't tell us what to do. You go make peace with your brother. I'm telling you guys, I have had my best day since Christmas looking at all that stuff on the Twitter sphere. And GB News, Talk TV, even LBC or LBC, they have been coming down on him. Even people that agree are just like, okay, but what took you so long? Why now? Right? Like Nigel Farage. This was not today. This was yesterday. Nigel Farage, the one who always looks like he's just sitting back up after somebody then slugged him in the mouth. He always looks like he just got slugged. Anyway, Nigel Farage says viewers have been left fuming as Prince William made a rare statement earlier today. Prince William has made a rare intervention into foreign policy to express his deep concern over the terrible human cost of war in Gaza, calling for an end to the fighting between Israel and Hamas as soon as possible, he said. So Prince of Wales is making big mistake with Gaza comment. It's absolutely disgraceful. Viewers fume after Prince William make political comments. KDV, thank you so much for 13 months membership. Baron, I worked as a nurse. I never earned up to 2,000 pounds. Is it 2,000 a month? Wow. Really? Oh yeah, that's not good. That's not good. That I think they said the 350 million pounds a year that they spend on the royal family. If I'm correct, I believe the statistic is that's enough to hire 11,000 nurses. I think they said that's enough to hire 11,000 nurses. That's what they say at oh gosh, what is it at Republic? Yeah, it says 345 pounds a year, enough to hire 13,000 nurses. That's enough to pay for 13,000 nurses. The monarchy costs 345 million pounds a year. They say it's just over 100 million, but they never factor in the cost of security, and they don't factor in like the cost to the various towns and municipalities. There's a lot of things that go into supporting them, and it seems like an incredible sum of money. But if you think about how much the United States spends on the first family, and the vice president's family. There's thousands of people that support just those two families, and it costs tens of millions of dollars a year to make that possible. And I'm pretty sure they spend more on the president and the vice president's families, but still, 345 million pounds a year for William to stick his head out the ground just a couple times since Christmas is outrageous. We're talking about Punxsutawney Prince, right? He's only been seen just long enough to cast his shadow. He's only been seen a couple of times just to cast his shadow, so we'll know that spring is near. So for 45 million pounds a year, that hardly seems fair, does it? But yeah, that's what they call him, the Punxsutawney Prince. That is so funny to me. Celibacy said that. You guys that don't watch Celibacy, I know some people say Celibacy be coming for Harry and Meghan. I've never seen it. I just have to say they are absolutely a riot. I'm only upset that they don't come on every week. They're like, okay, we're going to be off for 3 weeks. I get depressed when they say that. Let me see if I can find the Punxsutawney Prince. Oh, Lord. I'm so sorry I heard that because now my sides are hurting. I got to find the photo so I can share it with you. The Punxsutawney Prince. That's just rich. Whoever thought that one up is a genius. The Punxsutawney Prince. Very apropos. He only sticks his head out every so often. And when he does, then we know we got about 6 more weeks of oh, there it is right there. See? Thank you, KDV. So Punxsutawney Prince is going to the BAFTA Awards. So that's how we knew he was going, because he came out of his burrow just long enough and Groundhog Day. Yes, 2,000K a month and living in Greater London too. That is outrageous. That is outrageous. Especially considering the global pandemic, nurses being on the front line. I don't know if the average person could drag themselves to work in the midst of some mysterious illness. We saw that most recent with the AIDS pandemic, and then, of course, the global pandemic, and then, of course, all the little outbreaks in between. And that's just outrageous. You deserve more for what you do. So thank you for what you do. And I hope that justice will prevail and that they will pay you all more money. Thank you so much for your super chat. And living in Greater London is like one of the most expensive cities in the world. Very expensive. Very expensive. Okay, so let us continue here. Now, I have a little soundbite for you guys. Let me see. An unprecedented move. Prince William is calling for an end to the fighting in Gaza, risking a diplomatic row with Israel. The prince's strongly worded statement drew comparisons with Sir Winston Churchill saying, even in our darkest hour, we must not succumb to the council. We shall never, we will fight them on the land. We shall fight them in the air. And we will fight them in the sea. And we shall never surrender. And then he went and had another drink. Yeah. So you mean to tell me, wait, let me compose myself. Please don't tell me that William fancies himself Winston Churchill. Please don't tell me that. I don't, how do they say it? I can't handle the truth. Please don't tell me that William fancies himself Sir Winston Churchill. That just cannot be so. I mean, he already has the authority complex, right? Check. He think he knows everything. Check. He's brilliant. Okay, no check. But yeah, so he fancies himself Sir Winston Churchill. That's rich. Y'all, I gotta stop. My sides are hurting. Carlita Simone, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you so much for being here tonight. I gotta stop. My side is hurting. William fancies himself Sir Winston Churchill. We shall face them in our darkest hour. We will fight them on the air. We shall fight them on the land. We shall fight them by the sea, and we shall never surrender. Woo! What was he thinking? I bet you he wish he wouldn't have got out of bed that morning. I bet you he wish he wouldn't have got out of bed that morning. Let's see. YM Joy says implying Churchill is related to Rob Johnson. Well, you know they both had. I'm sure Winston Churchill would have had a CPAP had he lived, but he probably would have had a CPAP. But thank you so much, YM Joy. We shall fight them on the air. We shall fight them on the land. And we shall fight them in the sea. And we shall never surrender. Boy, if you don't sit down somewhere, see, this is why instead of getting William some nanny from God knows where, they should have went to I don't know. They should have went to a nice African American community. They should have brought somebody like Nell Carter. That's what he needed, was Nell Carter. He needed to be raised by somebody who is more give me a break instead of Life with Joan. You know what I'm saying? That's what he needed. He needed more like a give me a break. Somebody will say, boy, sit down somewhere. Sit down. Right? That's what he needed.
They come and go. They come fast. They come slow. Hey, girl, sit down. Sit down.
That's what he needed. That's what he needed.
Hey, girl, sit down. Sit down.
That's what he needed. He needed somebody to say, hey, girl, sit down. Sit down. But instead, he wants to try to be like his brother. And we can see what a disaster that is.
Have tried, haven't they, and failed so far to bring peace to Gaza. Can the prince do just that? Because it's a really strongly worded statement from him. He would see this more as a humanitarian intervention, perhaps more than a political one, but it is a significant moment, isn't it, for a senior member of the royal family to comment so publicly on a contentious issue like this. Remember, his grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II, didn't really get involved, did she? Took a diplomatic step away from all the politics for so many decades during her reign. Well, this all came about during a visit to the British Red Cross by Prince William yesterday. Of course, many of the people who work there have colleagues on the ground. They see firsthand just what the situation is like on the ground in Gaza. We'll hear a bit of the statement in full in a moment. But first, a quick clip of Prince Wales, who was caught speaking on camera.
I just don't know how you keep going to work every day, doing that under the circumstances. Seeing what they're seeing as well must be just the most difficult thing in the world.
Well, Prince of Wales there is in danger of straying into diplomatic dangerous territory. This is a clip of his statement, quite strongly worded. He said, I, like so many others, want to see an end to the fighting as soon as possible. There's a desperate need for increased humanitarian support to Gaza. It's critical that aid gets in and that hostages are released. Even in the darkest hour, we must not succumb to the counsel of despair. I continue to cling to the hope that a brighter future can be found, and I refuse to give up on that. So,
Hey, girl, sit down. Sit down.
Determination from him to see the bombing and the fighting stopping in Gaza. Israel did respond with a rather carefully worded statement saying that they too would like to see the fighting end, only though if the hostages are released. And they were very careful not to personally criticize the prince, although his comments are certainly being talked about. They are getting noticed. Hopefully the prince will hope that some positive effect can come from all of this.
Can you hear how desperate that reporter sounds? The reporter realizes something terrible has happened. He can barely get his words out. That is why he's stumbling over his words, because this is a nightmare for anybody who calls themselves a royalist, right? Anybody with common sense, really. But if you're a royalist, this is the stuff of nightmares. Leslie F. says, Bunny Rose said, your Winston Churchill sounds like a preacher from Coming to America. Sexual a chocolate. That's all right. Woo! Well, thank you so much for that, Bunny Rose. I appreciate it. And to be fair, a lot of my imitations sound like the same person. Okay. Yes, plagiarized Winston Churchill. He sure did. Dummy. So Israel is dismayed by Prince William's call for an end to the fighting in Gaza, but don't want to enter into public row with future king after royal's unprecedented interview. In an extraordinary and symbolically significant statement, the heir to the throne last night said the terrible human cost of the conflict had seen too many killed. Well, let's see. They estimate some 30,000 people. Do you mean to tell me it took some 30,000 before you took notice? It took about 30,000 for you to take notice? I mean, we are talking since October, right? So it couldn't have been 29. It couldn't have been 19, but 30. So we know what the threshold is for him, 30. 30,000 souls. And that's when he decides, well, enough is enough. He could have said that before Christmas. He could have said that in November. But he waits until we're north of 30,000. And then that's when he said, fancy a speech. Yeah, write a statement. Yeah, write a statement. He waits until it's north of 30,000 before he decides enough is enough. And even more so, if you feel that strongly about it, hop on a plane. Hop on a plane. Now do you see why they don't send him places? Now do you see why he's not allowed to be the global leader? William wants desperately to go around the world so he could show up his brother, right? But the government, number 10, very wisely have been holding him back. And you must say to yourself, exactly what are they holding back? William. That's what they're holding back. Remember, they were supposed to go to Italy. I wonder if they didn't just kind of like, snatch somebody out the garden one day so that he wouldn't be able to go to Italy, if you know what I mean. Was somebody sitting in the garden one day, uh, minding their business, doing who knows what, and then all of a sudden they're like, come with us. So maybe he doesn't know where his wife is. But if that's what it takes to keep him from leaving, then that's what it takes. But no, who knows where she is? But I'm just saying, it seems like somebody got desperate to make sure he couldn't go to Italy, because he was going to go to Italy and make a buffoon out of himself. And I don't know why he would want to go to Italy. Isn't that where he ignored the Italian president right after the World Cup? Loser. I mean, he just has loser written all over him. That William is supposed to be the savior. I'll never understand that. And of course, the other day I shared 3 photos of of them looking rather lost with one another. And just when I thought I had all of them, then I found that one on the bottom left. Yeah, that's the state of their relationship. Constantly looking to one another, hoping to find some understanding, to find some relevance, to find a purpose. He's not even getting the attention in the household. Why would you expect that the global community is ready for you? Right? I don't even think this is the way it should be. None of my business, but I just don't. I just don't think that nothing for him is going the right way. William answers to nobody, and that's why everything for him goes wrong. He's not accountable to anyone. He lives in his own world. His father is terrified of him. The people on the staff, they're terrified of him. The man who wants peace is the man who doesn't speak to his brother. The man who plotted against his brother is the man who wants to bring peace. He always gets it backwards. This is the same Willie that said that there shouldn't be any racism in football, but yet he allows his sister-in-law to be racially abused. He allowed his nephew to be racially abused and said nothing. That's why I say he always gets it backwards. He never seems to go in the right direction. Something happened between 2001 and 2016. It was this long decline to irrelevance. When he was stoic and moody and brooding and good looking, people thought, oh my goodness, he's going to be something else when he grows up. And then he grew up. And now he's stoic and moody and brooding and bald. And he looks old. And he's bobbing and weaving and blinking excessively and having bouts of mood swings and such. All the classic symptoms of a 12-step program. It's all the classic symptoms of a 12-step program. That's what it appears to be. It's just like one sip away from a 12-step program. Now, this one I love. This guy, the one with in the top right, he said it better than anybody, and I do mean anybody else. He said what everybody else was thinking. What I love about all of this is the truth. We're finally getting truth. We're finally getting people to call him out for his inept behavior. We're finally getting it. And I, for one, am here for it. Now, all I got to do is find it.
Adds his voice and says, in the meantime, the Prince of Wales adds his voice and says too many have died in the conflict. And it's an unusual move to see something so sort of politically forthright from the royals. Why do you think he's done this?
I think he's, again, pursuing his own agenda here, and he's trying to reach out to the politically very emotive millennial generation. And he's trying to outsmart his brother, I suspect. That's a bit of what's going on here. I am a monarchist. I support the idea of the monarchy, but I am uncomfortable with this. And I can see that the wording has been very careful to be neither one side nor the other. But even platitudes can be flammable. And
Oh no, what happened? Oh Lord. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? I need to open this in the app so it won't stop.
In the meantime, the Prince of Wales adds his voice and says too many have died in the conflict. And it's an unusual move to see something so sort of politically forthright from the royals. Why do you think he's done this?
I think he's, again, pursuing his own agenda here, and he's trying to reach out to the politically very emotive millennial generation. And he's trying to outsmart his brother, I suspect. That's a bit of what's going on here. I am a monarchist. I support the idea of the monarchy, but I am uncomfortable with this. And I can see that the wording has been very careful to be neither one side nor the other. But even platitudes can be flammable. And the timing of this stinks to me. First of all, with what's going on at Westminster, for goodness sake, if you're heir to the throne, you don't sound off about a topic that's about to be discussed in Parliament, but also to do with what's going on with the United Nations and with the Israelis. You know, the Israelis, the reason Israel, a tremendous country, survives, it has a policy of deterrent, frightens people. And it has this policy of corsair et demi. In other words, with you hit us, we'll hit you back 1.5 times as hard. And there's no recognition of that in, first of all, what's going on at Westminster, but also in Prince William's comments. It strikes me as a rather naive, bland statement, which could well backfire on him. The whole point of a monarchy is to be silent. You've got to be as silent as Charlie Chaplin, one of his early films. And doing something like that, he's just trying to say, I'm here, I matter, I don't want the heir to the throne to be doing that.
So why do you think it might backfire?
Because once he's done that, next time there's a difficult political situation,
there'll be an expectation
people will
that he
say,
says
why
something
hasn't
again?
the Prince of Wales sounded off? You know, we want to hear what Prince William thinks. We don't. We don't want to hear what he thinks. It doesn't matter what he thinks. He's a figurehead.
I tell you, I do agree with you. I tell you what also concerns me is that patently, Quentin, that was written past, checked by the Foreign Office. And then one gets to a feeling that, are we now going to think that politicians know they can use the royal family and roll them out? Hear me out.
Yeah.
Is he using the Foreign Office or the Foreign Office using him? I'm with you. It's a constitutional monarchy. Prince Charles used to get into trouble if he said nothing. Then if he started talking about anything, they said you should keep your nose out of it. I think the Queen got it right. I'm not being again. You're right. He's a really. I love the bloke. I'm a royalist massively, but I think it opens a can of whoop-ass. I've said it all morning.
You've got to be a stodgy dullard. That's the real. That's how you survive.
A stodgy dullard.
Well, that's what we want from Prince William, and I think he's very well qualified to be a stodgy dullard, and he ought to keep it like that.
Ivor, do you agree? Does it help if the Prince of Wales says, actually, this is my stance?
Yeah, I'm with you all on this. I mean, it's not a very sensible thing to do for the Prince of Wales. I mean, it's not for us politicians to actually comment on all these things, but I really do think that by going to the Foreign Office and getting a statement like this, I'm not sure that is in the longer term for the benefit of the monarchy. And I too am a monarchist, and I don't want to see it. And I think as you just said, Her Majesty the Queen, and when Prince of Charles was Prince of Wales. I think that worked very well, and we should continue with that over the years to come.
And Ivan, I was just thinking about something that Quentin said. Some people have gone, "Oh, you're absolutely right. It's all right to look at what's happening on the world, but what's happening in their own family, which is fractured." He then runs the risk, instead of just playing with a straight bat, straight down the middle, just keep doing, keep calm, carry on, don't say anything. Because he stuck his head above the parapet, his brother all of a sudden can say, hold on a minute, and then we're back into that sphere.
And his brother's missus. She'll now try to up the ante.
Don't you love it? Don't you love it? Don't you just love it? So no, this was all these photos as screenshots from that conversation that took place today. Let's see. Willie Leaks is trying to compete with Harry, and it backfired. Yes, it did, epically. So now you know why I have been dragging this out for the past couple of days, because I knew it was coming. I was just holding my breath and waiting for the other shoe to drop. And guess what? It dropped. They are going after him. Now those same people that he was using to bolster his image, yes, Pam Porter, stodgy dullard. Yes, he did nail it, didn't he? I'm telling you guys, I have just been in such a great mood. That's why I say I'm not even going to bother with Dan Wooten. I don't even care right now. I want to enjoy. I want to bask in this for a few days. Yes, I do. I want to watch them dismantle this veneer that they have encased him in. I want to watch them dismantle that veneer. I want to see him, what do you call it? Drag through the mud, if you will, figuratively speaking. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying watching this person who needs to try to be this stodgy dullard. Oh boy. I tell you, every day should be like this. Every day. Oh yeah. I'm telling you, they're very upset with him. I don't know what's inside of his private spaces that they pull his chain and he barks, but he does. They pull his chain and he barks. He does as instructed. But it yes, me too. I do. I love it for him too. I do. I'm enjoying it. But see, Charles used to have the same problem, but Charles was complaining about the environment. Charles was talking about the architecture and stuff like that. I don't know that Charles has ever went into foreign policy like that. Charles has his own personal interests, which tends to be of aesthetic or organic stuff. But I don't know that Charles has ever dipped his toe into that pool before. But they made a play called King Charles III, and the play was about this very same thing, where the Prince of Wales seemed to overstep the mark, and it caused a constitutional crisis. Well, so far, nobody is saying constitutional crisis, but this is why people are terrified of the idea that William will ever become king, because William seems to lack impulse control. William seems to be easily manipulated, right? But yeah, you can see on the left side, that was the poster. It was I guess it was based on a play called Charles III, and then they made a movie out of it. And I actually had to pay to see it, but I knew it was going to be really good. And what's very interesting is like art imitates life. There was a character, uh, the character's name was Prince Harry, who met a black girl. And in the movie, well, I won't tell you, but it's surprising. But he met a black girl. That was the other reason why I wanted to see it. But he met this black girl. So you have to see it for yourself. I won't spoil it for you. Let's see. Barron only refused to attend a state dinner for China. Really? Did he refuse that one? Or was it Kate that didn't show up? It was something Kate didn't go to one day. I can't remember what it was. Oh, did he? I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that. But I do know that in the storyline, everything unraveled when he was supposed to sign some law and he refused to do it. And the prime minister was just like, "You're not going to sign?" All of a sudden, he had grew a conscience, right? And the way the storyline goes, without telling you how it ends, but the way it goes is that it causes a constitutional crisis. And it's really based on a overzealous, emotional Prince of Wales who seemed to decide to go against the grain, who decided that he wasn't going to do what was expected. He was going to do what he thought was right. And that was no good. Oh, yeah, you leave me this chair. You can hear it. This chair is just about shot. I'm going to replace it. I'm just waiting for it to like completely go out. But I know it's a bit distracting sometimes. But yeah, this chair has had better days. But I've had it for like a year, but I'm using it a lot. But Notre Dame, yes, Notre Dame warned us about this. Will's jealousy of Harry is eating him alive. Harry is free to speak and do whatever he wants. As king, he's going to have tape over his mouth. Very true, Rosengate. Well, except for one thing, Harry is not free to speak his mind. He is still a prince of the realm. And because of that, and this is what I have said so many times, is that the Sussexes have not put a foot wrong. They still conduct themselves as a prince and princess of the realm. They are not likely to get involved with any politics. Right now, they're trying to make their money. And I believe that they're trying to work within the system. Even though they're outside of the system, they're still trying to work as though they're within the system. So they are making up a lot of things as they go along, but some things is just based on tradition. I'm not even going to say the P word, but it's based on tradition, not the word that they use, that they weaponize against people to try to make them look foolish. But yeah, I'm just going to say that Harry is trying to stick as close to tradition as possible. He has taught that tradition to his wife. The children will learn that same tradition. Now, that being said, they are still going to have to step outside of the box to get things done. But they have been very, careful about the stuff that they say and do. So even though they try to hold a lot of things over their head, a lot of the people that have this hate agenda against them have no appreciation for what they're doing right. The only thing that they can complain about is what they perceive to be wrong. But the Sussexes are still honoring the Queen, QE2. They're still honoring her as though she's still alive. So, and Harry is living up to his birthright. So they don't have that over them, even though they like to say they do. Remember, they were insinuating that Harry and Meghan were going to sell T-shirts and hats and all that kind of stuff. None of that is happening. None of that is happening. Right now, they are Hollywood executive producers. That's it. Okay, but thank you so much for your comment. So yeah, Charles, you guys, I'm going to give credit where credit is due. I have done this several times. Charles gets it right when it comes to his job. He gets it right more often than he ever gets it wrong. I cannot find a photo of Charles being carried by natives on some Oceania tour. I cannot find that. I have a picture of Philip being carried around by brown people. I have a photo of the Queen being carried by brown people. And the most recent incarnation of that was Willie and Katie being carried around by brown people, smiling and laughing and clapping their hands. There is no image of Charles that I can find where there are brown people carrying him. And I believe that Charles was reading the room. He realized that the optics were horrible and he decided to avoid it. But Willie, every time he goes somewhere, he wants to be the Queen and Philip all over again. He wants to rinse and repeat and come out looking just like his grandmother and his grandfather. No matter that this is the modern age, it doesn't seem to catch his notice. He wants to just do the very least. Willie is notorious for not reading any information. He and Kate do not study. They don't know the facts. They don't know people. They don't know anything. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. They are so ill prepared. You know the guy that was born with the silver foot in his mouth? That was George Bush, the Papa Bush, right? The son, the one who took us into an unnecessary war. They said before election, before he got elected the first time when they stole the election, they said that he's the kind of person that he depends on his aides to do all of the research. They will give him a report. This is what they said. And that he will thumb through it and slam it down on the table and say, now tell me what I need to know. Even Ronald Reagan read, okay? Even Ronald Reagan read things. But the younger Bush, well, he wasn't much of a student, and you can see where that's gotten us. The C student took us into an unnecessary war, and over 1 million people of Muslim religion, over 1 million of them died in Iraq. Most Americans don't know that nobody has caused the loss of more than the younger Bush, right? Everything that's going on that we see on TV today was so much worse, but just not as prolonged, right? But yeah, that's what he was responsible for, the C student. That's why it's important to read things. And that is why William is going to be a complete failure. It never dawns on him to learn or study anything. We can watch Harry reading over a speech again and again. We can listen to him sit in an armchair and talk about things with so much authority, with so much knowledge. But remember, he's the troublemaker. He's the loser. He's the dumb one. Willie is the smart one. Willie is the one that is going to take the royal family into the future. Let me see. Am I through dragging him yet? Okay, I tell you what I'm going to do. Someone did mention James O'Brien. So before I'll leave this. I'm going to just play a little bit of James O'Brien. It's kind of long, so I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I'll just play a little bit of it because James O'Brien, he agrees with Willie. I think he questions the timing, but I do believe he agrees with Willie Leaks. So let's just hear what he has to say. Okay, let me go here. I got to go to my profile, and there we go. There we go.
And I think we should all be grateful to Lucy in Bushy this morning, not only the first entry into Idiot's Corner, but a beautiful illustration of something that you may not even have noticed yourself. So Lucy's been in touch already to say, oh, here we go, you're off again. The question is about the Prince of Wales, although to, I suppose, the amusement of everybody involved, you've managed to insert an unnecessary H into the word Wales there, which is certainly distracting. Speaking out, but you spin it your way. Well, the point is that nobody seemed to notice the unprecedented public statement from the Prince and Princess of Wales at the beginning of October. And the use of the word unprecedented here is not my own. It comes from the Jewish News, and it was with reference to the condemnation of Hamas. So I'm looking at the inbox that I've inherited from Nick, who I'm sure mentioned this, the fact that it's not unprecedented at all and that the Prince of Wales had issued an unequivocal condemnation of Hamas. But I'm looking at the inbox I've inherited, and it's full of people saying, why hasn't he condemned Hamas? Why hasn't he called for the hostages to be released? And then you've got people like Lucy and Bushy thinking that this intervention is unprecedented and that because he's essentially called upon Israel to stop killing Palestinians, something extraordinary has happened, something both significant and newsworthy. And yet this, described by the Jewish News as unprecedented public statement from the Prince and Princess of Wales, who, quotes, hold all the victims, their families and their friends in their hearts and minds, while utterly condemning, quotes again, the Hamas attacks on Israel, for the avoidance of any doubt whatsoever, quite correct, quite and completely correctly. Nobody noticed. Certainly didn't make the front page of the Daily Mail. What would they have said? Prince risks controversy? I don't know. It just wouldn't be controversial at all. Please don't kill people. If you are killing people, you're disgusting. He doesn't go that far. In fact, he doesn't really go very far at all. So we're left with the question, perhaps, as to why some people, and oddly, they are people who routinely use the word snowflake as a pejorative, have got their knickers in such a twist about Prince William, essentially saying, hey, too many people have died, guys. Why can't we all just get along? It's the most vanilla of interventions, and yet it is something that is apparently controversial. The Prince and Princess of Wales are profoundly distressed by the devastating events that have unfolded in the past days. The horrors inflicted by Hamas's terrorist attack upon Israel are appalling. They went further. They said that as Israel exercises its right of self-defense, all Israelis and Palestinians will continue to be stalked by grief, fear, and anger in the time to come. They added that they hold all the victims, their families and their friends in their hearts and minds, and spoke of the necessity of Israel defending itself. Now, there's something quite strange happening there, isn't there? I don't know what you or who you've been relying on for your coverage of Prince William's intervention, but if it's the Daily Mail, you'd think this was the first time in history that anybody from the royal family had said anything at all about the situation in the Middle East, let alone the last 5 months, let alone the last 16, 17 weeks. But there it is, described as unprecedented by the Jewish News. And yet I turn to the front of the Daily Mail today and it says Prince risks controversy with impassioned and unprecedented intervention and says, like others, I want an end to the fighting. So anyone calling it unprecedented is lying to you. I think it perhaps was unprecedented on October the 10th, when he actually weighed in behind Israel's right to respond robustly to that terror attack on October the 7th. But to say now, can it stop, please? There is a desperate need. Let's run through it, shall we? You can tell how bad things are because the Daily Mail have had to do one of those things where they run lines on what he actually said, and then they put another paragraph underneath it on what they say what it means. Can you imagine what that's like? So here's what he said Oh, and here's what it means. It means that if your nan still reads the Daily Mail, she's not reading what Prince William said. She's reading what the editor of the Daily Mail wants you to think that Prince William said. What he said, what it means. It happened to me once, although only online. One of my first ill-advised forays into conversation about trans people and about gender-neutral changing rooms. I had no idea how hot that topic was. We're going back a few years now. And about 6 months later, I found this thing online where someone had rung in and done an entire transcript of the conversation using red ink to tell me what I'd really meant. So I would have said, good morning. And then in red ink, it'd say, what he really means is, go to hell, you monstrous human. And then I would say, what would you like to talk about today? And then in red ink, what he really means, I hate you and everything you stand for. And all women are awful. I mean, it was just insane. But an early indicator, a canary down the coal mine, perhaps, of where the so-called debate about transgender.
Okay, so I don't want to get into all that part of it, but well, anyway, like I said, he really put his foot in it this time, and I'm enjoying it. I'm definitely enjoying it. I knew that this was going to be bad, but I think like I was saying yesterday, like you take a look here. William, the president of BAFTA, hasn't even watched the movies because he's lazy. William, the president of the Women's World Cup, or no, the Football Association president, right? Everybody, and I do mean everybody, expects him to go. He who doesn't have to wait at an airport or even buy a ticket, he should have been there to root for the Lionesses. He didn't go. He won't read anything. He won't go a lot of places that he's supposed to go. Far too often, the family was depending on Harry to do the things that he did not want to do. But yet, he wants to take the photos. He wants all the attention. Just like the photo here on the right side, you see those girls? If you listen to the actual conversation, no, it wasn't as bad as what they make it seem to be, although it's bad that he was too lazy to watch the movies and he didn't know what the movie was about. But you can hear cameras clicking away. He's in that situation because he wants to be photographed so that he can show the world that he can do things better than Harry. And that's it. He has no other interest whatsoever. The thing that you hear about Harry and that you hear about Diana over and over again is how they make you feel like you're the only person in the room, that you're the most important person in the world. William makes sure that you know that he's the most important person in the world and that he should be the only thing that's interesting in the room. That is how he functions. There's so much of what he has said and done that echoes his father, and right down to this situation where he can't close his mouth about things that he should not mention. The only thing is Charles does not seem to find himself in those ridiculous situations like that because Charles studies. Charles decided, if I'm going to be the Prince of Wales, then I learn the language. I will learn the language. So he learned the language. It never dawned on Willie to do anything of the sort because he does what he wants to do when he wants to do it and not a single thing more. So I am enjoying this situation. I'm having a good time. And yeah, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Let's see. Lady Bird in Israel just received air raid warning for incoming missiles. Oh my goodness, that's terrible. Well, yeah, lots of prayers for you, Lady Bird. I would not want to be in that position right now. Thank goodness for the Iron Dome, huh? Wow. I've never known anyone to be in a situation like that. Fascinating. Okay, so let me go on. I shared that photo already. Here's a few more photos that we have not seen. Now, I don't know why I'm looking at that shirt that Harry's wearing and I'm picturing Ice Cube or Dr. Dre or Snoop Dogg. I mean, as soon as I saw that photo, the first thing that came to mind is da 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 da. Da 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 da. Whoop de whoop what? Da 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 da. Oh, I don't know why I started thinking Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, and Ice Cube when I saw that shirt, but he is definitely giving me some gangster rapper with that shirt on. Woo! He is definitely serving up some gangster rapper. Just when you think you've seen it all, I don't think I've ever seen a member of the British royal family wearing anything as urban looking as that. That's the code word I'll use, urban. I don't think I've ever seen the likes of it. Till the wheels fall off. Mm-hmm. Hey, hey, hey. Watch TV every day. Yeah, watch TV every day. But it makes me wonder what kind of music Harry listens to on his off time. It really makes me wonder. But you know what? I'm here for it. Joy Moore, good night. Thank you so much for being here. Yes, we got to pray for Lady Bird. Absolutely. That is a incredible situation to find yourself in. I mean, breathtaking. Absolutely. Here's another shot right here. And you know what, guys? I said this before, and I just want you to notice I actually made some adjustments with this photo, but I think because of Meghan's height, a lot of times when she's photographed, she's always at that angle of the lens where everything stretches out horizontally. And I think it's because of her height. She really needs to, be center of the photo to take the most flattering pictures. And mind you, it was a little more than what it is now, but I kind of, squished it a bit to make the angle proper. But I think that's why. I explained that before. I'm not going to do it again right now. But yeah, I think that's why sometimes some of her photos look a certain way. And Lady Bird, please, when you have a chance to check in with us, let us know you're okay. Now take a look here. Prince Harry is wearing Hazel 20 chroma blanket shirt under the Eddie Bauer vest jacket. And that was on the 16th that he wore that, 16th of February. But yeah, he's given me whoop-de-whoop Inglewood. Yeah, he is definitely giving me some Inglewood right now. I'm not saying that he's going to be riding an Escalade or a lowrider or something like that, or put some hydraulics on his Audi. But if he does, if we see him with some hydraulics on his Audi, don't be surprised, because I think the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air I think that he's getting to be just a little bit too American. I don't know if I like that. I don't. I think that once Harry loses that British charm, I don't think I'm gonna enjoy watching him do stuff as much. But he's getting to be very, very LA. Yeah. So oh man. Yep, he's becoming one of the locals. And there's a wide angle right there, and you can see Harry coaching. There he is coaching the I think what do they call that? Oh God, I forgot. But anyway, there he is coaching. Whoop de whoop. What a what. Oh man. And there's some more of what Harry wore. So yeah, this looks more typical, but I'm telling you, that shirt was giving me quite the Inglewood experience. I mean, he was looking straight out of Oakland. You know what I'm saying? But as you can see, he's got the Eddie Bauer, the Merrill boots, 7 for all mankind, jeans, and what else? More Eddie Bauer, and then of course that custom Invictus jacket. I love that. I love the Invictus jacket, and of course the Reeboks. Yeah, he's wearing some Reeboks. So I don't know, maybe right? West Side, West Side, West Side. Curling. Thank you so much, VS. VS, what would I do without you? Thank you so much. Curling. Now, here's some Afrocentric art. I love that. It kind of reminds me of what is that painting, The Kiss, the one that Austria is hanging on to. They don't want to let it go. Oh gosh, I forgot the artist's name. But the one where they stole the painting and they won't give it back. But anyway, it kind of reminds me of that, except it doesn't have like the gold painted into it. But yeah, I love that. Very beautiful. Wouldn't mind having something like that in my living room. Right? I love that. I love that. Peter Max vibes? No, I was thinking it was pre-war, where the lady's got her head leaned over to the side and can't think of it. Gustav Klimt? Yeah, maybe it's Klimt. Maybe it's Klimt. Let me check that out. Yes, Klimt. That's what I'm thinking. Klimt. Gustav Klimt. That's the one I'm thinking about. Well, I like to share art with you guys because, listen, I say it all the time. You got to bring some art into your home. Find some stuff that you like. Not that everybody's going to like it, but something that you like. Something that you wouldn't mind seeing occasionally. Something that invokes the colors and the mood that you want to bring to the space. Go out and get yourself some art. Years ago, I was working in a cubicle, and my cubicle had, the classic, what do you call that, bulletin board. It was the kind that have a cloth on it. So what I did was I took postcards. Usually postcards, if you've ever been to an art gallery, sometimes they give you postcards. They have complimentary postcards. And I was collecting those from the art galleries. And so I started putting them on the wall, on the bulletin board in my cubicle. And do you know, over time, sometimes when some of my coworkers needed to relax, they would come to the cubicle and I'd be like, "Oh, what's up? Can I help you with something?" "No, I just came here to relax for a minute." And I would see them just sitting there at the other desk, and they would just sit there and look at the paintings or the postcards with the paintings. That was their way of relaxing. They'd come and look at the same thing, and I, put up a new one, change it out sometime. But that's what I did with that space, and they found it very relaxing. And so that's when I knew that having some art is a great way to make a space your own and to create an environment that is relaxing or motivating or whatever you need it to be based on what you put up there. So that's what I did. And I used to I called it gallery something. I forget the name of the area where I was working, but I called it gallery something. And I even made a little label that said gallery such and such. I cannot God, that was so long ago. But yeah, so it's a little idea. Yes, do that. Do that. Create a little art area. And, when you travel or whatever, I had like a little Mona Lisa. I had, different postcards from art galleries and stuff. And yeah, and I just put them up so people could just come and enjoy them. I would sit there and enjoy them, sit there and eat my lunch and look at my photos or postcards or whatever. So yeah, and I made sure the space was very clean. I didn't stick anything else up there. I had stuff on the other side, but that side I'd reserved that just for my little workplace gallery. So right here, exclusive Meghan Markle seen an unearthed family photo. Well, I cropped the article because I didn't want to share those photos. It says, illustrating idyllic, happy childhood, far from modest upbringing, she claimed, Duchess cousin Sean Johnson reveals. Now, notice who wrote it. This is from the Sussex Squad Detective Agency. Ruth Stiles, right? Ruth Stiles is the one that wrote that one for the Daily Mail. But then take a look over there on the right side. Back in 2016, she said, Harry's girl, almost straight out of Compton, gang-scarred home of her mother revealed. So will he be dropping by for tea? So a fast forward to 2024 is idyllic. But back in 2016, it was gang-scarred. Well, which is it? Which is it? This is unprecedented for me to know the names of the people that write these articles. And if you notice there, Ruth Stiles is the writer, right? She doesn't look anything like me. She don't even look anything like Meghan. Certainly don't look anything like Doria. But yet she has all these opinions about where Meghan comes from and how she grew up. Now, I'm not even sure that she's the one who interviewed her cousin. It may have been someone else. It may have been her. I don't know. But how is it that Harry's girl comes from a gang-scarred home of her mother? And now in 2024, I guess everything's changed. Because now where Meghan comes from, idyllic, happy childhood, far from the modest upbringing she claimed. Huh? When it serves the narrative, it was gang scarred, right? But now to serve the narrative, it was idyllic. So when they wrote the article the first time, it was the Cabrini Green projects where the Good Times was situated. But in modern days, now all of a sudden, it is the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It went from the Cabrini Green projects to Bel-Air in just, 8 years? 7, 8 years? It has gone from Cabrini Green to Bel-Air. Whatever serves the narrative. You guys, this is why we keep receipts. This is why we keep receipts, so that we can call them out. And hats off to the squatty that identified this and even pointed to the name, Ruth Stiles. Yep, that is what they do. This is why we do what we do. Because without the Sussex squad, this is not big enough to cover on the NBC nightly news. But it's like a death by 1,000 cuts. It's not the one situation, but it is the continued, prolonged assault, the mental gymnastics that they pull off every day to try to create hostility toward Harry and Meghan. So this, of course, implies that she lied, right? We can't say that it was the writer, because the writer, who's going to go back and look for that? This implies that Meghan is the liar, not the person who wrote this little 2-bit article. This is why we do what we do. Yep, this is why. Because of stuff like this. And the big difference is, during Diana's day, there was not an ability to push back. But see, what's changed is that these people live on the social media. They make money from social media. They cultivate stories from the social media. The derangers help provide them with stories. They go into the spaces and look at what the squatties are talking about. Just like that particular day that I called Doria the rock of the Sussex family. And 2 days later, there it was in the Daily Mail. 2 days later, there it was in the Daily Mail. So we know they listen. That we know that they listen. But they're not going to correct themselves. They certainly will not apologize. Let me see. Ruth Lopez says, ask Ruth Stiles to turn her journalistic skills to find out where Kate. Thank you, Ruth Lopez. Now that is some investigative journalism. Oh, thank you so much. That's right. Sussex love. We love our Sussexes. Okay, so right here, Meghan Markle nailed the low effort updo in a brand new pic from her Canada trip. How did Meghan Markle and Prince Harry visit Canada ahead of the 2025 Invictus Games go? Let me see. Okay, I'm going to have to go elsewhere to look at that because it's not all there. Let me see. There we go. So how did Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's visit to Canada ahead of 2025 Invictus Games go? It seemed to have gone pretty perfectly. As a matter of fact, the couple even shared previously unseen photo of themselves from the 1 year to go dinner in Vancouver. The photo published in People shows Meghan Markle in an olive green gown by Canadian designer Greta Constantine, with a draped shoulder, single shoulder that is, neckline, which she accessorized with a simple diamond chain necklace. The better to show off the dress, Meghan wore her hair up in a slick bun with a side part. In the photo, the Duchess is sitting next to her husband, who wears a blue suit. Both Sussexes are grinning from ear to ear. Now, let's go back and take a look at that gown, shall we? Let's go back and take a look at that gown. I got to go to, oh boy, that was the 16th. Let me see. Let me go to the 16th. I hope it's on the 16th. Unfortunately, I did not have a slide prepared. Okay. Anyway, I mean, I know we all seen it, but still, it would, for the effect, it would have been better. Just for the effect. Okay, 17th. It's got to be 17th. Got to be the 17th. There we go. There we go. Although it took a while before we got a clear view of it. Yes, there it is. There it is. That is the gown. That is the gown. I love the way it gathers, around the waist. I love that. Around the hips, rather. I love the way it gathers like that. That is very cool. It's not fussy. It's not loud. It's formal without being, too much, right? I mean, she could have easily have worn something shorter, but it's ethereal in its execution. I love it. Very good look for her. So, and there they are. I guess people have nicknamed Michael's wife Lou. So Bublé, Lou. I like that, Lou. And of course, the Duchess and Prince Harry. What a great occasion that was. Absolutely wonderful. No wonder it drove his brother to the point of almost risking the royal family's reputation. Okay, so Duchess of Sussex Meghan Markle wears centaular cape with shawl collar and belt in dark camo in Vancouver, British Columbia for the Invictus Games 2025 training camp. And I forget the name of the rider boots. I think it was CO. That was the only name that I got from it, was CO, which doesn't seem like that's really a name, but there you go. So some clothing manufacturer is very happy right now with our Duchess for wearing their cape coat. But and also you can see how our Duchess is having a good time with the Bublé family, And I have to tell y'all, I don't want to make this about the mean girl, but I want to make this about the mean girl. There are no photos of her having a friendly chat. She's either at this or at that. But in terms of a friendship, which, by the way, I believe that Meghan had already known of Michael Bublé and his family before being married. She had already, because she lived in Canada, and all of the people in the public like that who had very public lives, they all seemed to know each other. So not much of a surprise there. But, and Meghan easily fitted into her life in Canada without incident and was not branded a troublemaker until the tabloid machine went after her. Then a couple of days before the Oprah interview, because they were in such a panic over what they would talk about, that's when they decided to brand her the bully. That's when that happened. Otherwise, she has an unblemished work record. But the royal family, Willie, Katie, the two that benefited from all of this vitriol, that's why we are where we are today. This is why the two brothers are not speaking, among other things. I mean, they already had trouble, but still. So, wait, was that it? That was it, you guys. I'm done. And 2 hours. I'm impressed. I'm done. I cannot believe it. I thought I had a bunch of other stuff. I thought I had some more. Oh, well, that was it, you guys. I'm done. Thank you for going on this ride with me. I enjoyed it so much. I have to tell you, thank you to Prince William for giving me the best day I've had since Christmas. And I hope that this lasts throughout the weekend and even further than that. I pray that this becomes a constitutional crisis. This is the same man. William is the same man who went on an all-expense paid vacation to the Caribbean and came back with a bill for $335 trillion, right? Who goes on an all-expense paid vacation and comes back with a bill? All-expense paid vacation, and he comes back in debt. Not just him, but the entire nation is in debt thanks to Willie leaks. What will he get up to next? I'm afraid to ask. I don't think the people of the United Kingdom can afford for him to go on vacation. Everything's bought and paid for, and yet you come back in debt.
Yes, Prince. Trenchtown wants $245 billion. That's what Trenchtown wants. $345 billion. Yes, thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what Trenchtown wants. Yes. How you mean?
Yeah, that's what happens when you try to be like your brother. Yeah, that's what happens. You're trying so hard to be like your brother and come back owing $335 billion. It went up about $100 billion while he was there. In that same conversation, it went up another $100 billion.
Yes, Prince. Trenchtown wants $245 billion. That's what Trenchtown wants. $345 billion. Yes, thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what Trenchtown wants. Yes. How you mean?
Yeah, see there? It went up $100 billion right there in the same conversation. And they say that Harry and Meghan caused the Queen stress. Not the 12 million pounds the Queen paid out for someone that her son never met for something he didn't do. No, not that. It was because William comes back with a bill for $335 billion. What do you mean? That's what Trenchtown want. So I would say, if anything, because we all know that nothing was more important to Queen Elizabeth than the Commonwealth. That was the one thing that she was so proud of. And then next thing you know, Willie Leaks goes on vacation and loses half the Commonwealth. Half of the Commonwealth was lost on that vacation. Half of the Commonwealth. Who does that? Well, looks like we learned something at boarding school, didn't we? Deborah Anderson, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. Yeah, looks like we learned something in boarding school. Looks like somebody learned how to shake that money maker. Come on and shake that money maker. Come on and shake that money maker. Look at here. Shake that money maker. Hey. Yeah, I would say that and Camilla and other things probably caused a lot of trouble for the Queen, not Harry and Meghan. The Queen loved them, adored them. But you know how that is. So, all right. So thank you very much, everyone. And thank you, as always, for watching Royal Sussex. It has been a pleasure. And I'm not over it yet. So I am going to scour the internet, finding as much as I can about this terrible situation that Willie Leaks has found himself in. Oh, that's too bad. That is too bad. Couldn't happen to a nicer person. There are days when it just doesn't make sense to get out of bed, especially for him. All right, so I will see you guys. Thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex, and thank you all for your very generous contributions. Deborah, Leslie, YM, Droid, Carmelita, KDB. Also, thank you for the membership and contribution, KDB, and let me see, Red Lady, Rosita's 19 months, and Kathy G, 25 months. It just doesn't seem possible, yeah, but 25 months. All right. Now, I had something all picked out for the last word of the day. Let me just make sure, because I thought I had more slides, but no, that was it. Yep, that was it. That went by so fast. Let's see. Red Lady says, do you think the health of Charles and the issue with Kate, Harry, and Meghan will go back to help if asked? No. No. I pray that they don't. But, oh, by the way, thank you for the super chat. The tabloids only want them back to abuse them. They want them back to make money. And especially with this being an election season for them, I think, right? Or there'll be an election soon or whatever. But the government, well, I won't say the government, but the some of the politicians, they use that as a distraction going after the Sussexes. And the media, of course, use that as a distraction on behalf of the government, as well as the ability to make money. So it's just not a safe environment for them. It would be very difficult for them to do anything effective. And the reason why I say that is because that I don't have the Dorothy video anymore. That was on my other computer. But when Meghan was out doing a walkabout one day, and there was this lovely exchange that someone uploaded on the internet, I was like, wow, that's a beautiful thing, right? And I made a video about that one. But the problem that I wasn't aware of until Meghan mentioned it, I think it was on the docuseries, is that while she was walking through shaking hands with the crowd, and this is when she had that red coat on, I think, with the purple dress. Or was it the red dress, purple coat? Well, either way, someone asked her, why won't you call your father? You need to talk to your father. And I just would not want her exposed to something like that again. Now, I saw that little a-hole that told Harry, oh, you should, and he was black too, you should leave Meghan and come back here and such and so and so. It's at a point of no return. There's been too much damage done. So my theory is that Harry simply offered to help his father if he needs help. And sometimes we say that and we hope we don't have to because, but this is an important year for the Sussexes, right? 2024, as Meghan alluded, there's going to be a lot of things coming down the pike for 2024. And they just don't need to have that type of distraction. There was a huge price they paid with 2022. If I'm correct, I believe Meghan could not go and retrieve an award that was presented. They had to delay the release of the podcast, or did they take a break from the podcast? I can't recall. And, and who knows? Maybe in some kind of way that may have ended the podcast. We don't know. I mean, I don't suspect it was, but it couldn't have been helpful. And so it seems like every time the Sussex's momentum is at a certain point, there's always something with that family. William is not really there. He's there, but he's not there. He's a tool and nothing else. Kate cannot manage on her own. Kate has only taken one trip abroad without William, and that only happened, a year ago when she went to Denmark? She could have gone and been home for supper. That's how close it was. So those two, they are going to find it difficult to carry a kingdom. Charles is too old. And Camilla is not well. She's not able to travel as much. So they're really in a bad situation. But I don't know what they could do. I don't think Harry's going to do an investiture, although that would be something really safe. But it's a long ways away. And they have so much work back in California. They have a movie that they're trying to get out. And Harry has all these jobs. Meghan has her investments and whatever work she's doing. So I just don't think it's feasible. The math is not mathing, as they say. So I don't think so. I don't think they're welcomed, and I don't think that they really want to do it. And I hope that they, under no circumstances, will they go back into that viper's den and put their mental health at risk. Because that's what it really is doing, is to that would really put their mental. Oh, by the way, thank you again for the super chat. But that would really put their mental health at risk. They were there for the Queen's funeral, and they were abused the entire time. And even if by some miraculous circumstance, and I did say this, if they stop abusing them in the press, then I would say, that's interesting, right? Interesting as in they could actually go back and do some things. But as things stand, no. It would have been nice for them to go to the Commonwealth event. That's where they left off. It would be nice if they could go back. But again, the abuse, the hatred, this has been years of indoctrinating people, giving people talking points, making people believe that they're monsters. And it just would not be wise. It wouldn't be wise. You have white supremacists that would like to target them. That whole thing about Harry in Afghanistan, why they would do something like that, something that could actually cause problems for the rest of the royal family. But they did it anyway, because those people in the media, they don't love that family. They're royalists, but they don't care for them as people. And just like listening to that guy unleash on William, does that sound like somebody who reveres and respects William? I mean, the name that he called William, that rolled out of his mouth like he was telling the time of day. It just rolled right out of his mouth. What was it, a stodgy dullard? Just rolled right out of his mouth as though it had been there. Just waiting for the occasion. Oh, thank you for the question. Thank you for the question. You know, I've mentioned this before, and I'm not sure how long you've been watching Royal Sussex, but I was there on the wedding day, and I watched them go by, and from Thanksgiving of 2017 to the wedding day, I did nothing but study Harry and Meghan. I wanted to know everything that there was to know about Meghan. Harry, I kind of knew his story, but not everything. But I got such a kick out of seeing this American, like in some Lifetime movie, you have this American that's out there showing the aristocracy that it doesn't take much to be a princess. All you have to do is want to do things right, right? And then with Meghan, she wouldn't have just been a typical princess. Meghan was so well educated and so capable, beautiful, smart, all of those things. And also had a fan base. It's not like she was walking in, this girl off the farm. No, she's not from some farm in Iowa. She had been on the world stage already. I mean, not a superstar, but she was a television star. She starred on a television series. People knew who she was, right? Of course, I didn't watch TV at the time, so I don't think I watched any series at that time. But the point is, she had been around Hollywood her whole life, and she knew the business. She worked in the business. She knows about public relations. She has a fine education, all the ingredients that it would take for that to be a fairy tale with a happy ending. And just the same way that you can see this exchange with Meghan and Lusana and Michael Bublé, the same exchange that you see there, that is the same exchange that she should have been able to have with Willie Leaks and Kate. But they're not that kind of a people. They're not that kind of people. And it has escaped everybody's notice that they're not that type of couple. Harry said in the book that he had never been invited to their home. He thought that, oh, once they get it fixed up, then I'll be this great uncle and so on and so forth. I believe the only time that he had seen the inside of that apartment was when the Obamas showed up to see Harry. But because of protocol, he could not visit with them by himself. They had to bring a senior royal, someone who has more rank than himself, and his dull, giggling, hyena laughing wife. They had to bring her into it as though she can have a conversation with the only first lady to have a double Ivy League degree. A double Ivy League degree. Best educated first lady in history, right? And she's forced to sit across from Kate, daughter of the air hostess, daughter of the airline dispatcher, purveyors of party pieces, Middleton. That's who she had to sit there and talk to. Someone who had never worked a day in her life, someone who spent her summers on yachts. And then you got Barack Obama. Not only is he and his wife both lawyers, attorneys, but Barack Obama, a constitutional professor from the University of Chicago. He taught constitutional law. And he's sitting there talking to William, who doesn't even know that there was a war in Europe, a world war, not once but twice. He forgot about that or something. We don't think of war happening in places like Europe. That's something we expect to see in Africa or the Middle East. And two of the most brilliant, best educated people ever to go into the White House are sitting there talking to Will and Kate. I had to think about that for a second. They're sitting there talking to Will and Kate. They had really come to see Harry, but they're sitting there talking to Will and Kate. So Harry had never really seen the inside of that apartment. And then he got more of a view of it when he went over there with Meghan. That was when he really got a chance to take a look at the place. It was all new to him because he was not welcome to be there. But in order to try to put Meghan in her place, they wanted her to come over there and bow and curtsy and go through all that protocol and stuff with them. And Harry said, no. You curtsy to my grandmother and to my father and nobody else. Got it? M. Covington, thank you so much for the super sticker. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, and for being a member of Royal Sussex. But yeah, so it's really unfortunate. The Queen had lived long enough and had known so many people like Winston Churchill that I'm pretty sure that she could hold a conversation. I'm pretty sure she was not limited to dogs and ponies and flowers. But William, he's not a conversationalist. I mean, there's so many gaffes, even 10 times worse than Philip's. But Philip at least knew a bit of world history. I mean, Philip had survived the Second World War. At least he knew some history. Philip was curious about science and such. Racist to the core, but very serious about history and science. William, nothing. Nothing. He just comes up a big fat zero. He's not interested in anything. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't care about anything. He wants to go in and take the photos. He wants people to applaud and celebrate him, but he does nothing to earn it. And so when he went to the BAFTA Awards, let me see if I could find that photo from the BAFTA. When he went to the BAFTA Awards and the people watched him walk in, one of the reasons why there was so much hostility is because the actors, they have to show deference to him, someone who doesn't care about the industry, someone who's never worked in the industry, and someone who obviously doesn't even watch movies. He can't even watch the movies. It's not like he's working so much. He just doesn't care to do it. He does what he wants to do. He has no notes. Nobody can tell him anything. And so when he walked in, over the past years when he walked in, they were told to stand at attention for him. Oh, there we are over here. They were told to stand at attention for him. And there's a video on the YouTube where he and Kate walked in. I think this was 2 years I saw that. They walked in. Okay, they stood up, but there was no applause. People just looked at them like they were some kind of curiosity. They just looked at them. And so to avoid the embarrassment of that, he decides that he's going to walk in. Let me see, do I have it? He walks in here, right in front of the stage. He walks past the stage. There's Michael Sheen trying to avoid looking at him, which is what most people have done. I mean, you would think that as tall as William is, what is he, 6'2", 6'3"? And he's got that big shiny noggin. You would think that people would notice him a mile away. They're not standing at attention because it was not required this year. He came in through a side entrance and went to his seat to avoid the embarrassment that he would have faced otherwise from the lack of deference to his presence. Right? Why he shows up, I don't know. He doesn't care about that. He doesn't care about football, not for the women anyway. But yet he has all of this responsibility. And one of the reasons why I get so triggered is because I see these derangers saying things like Meghan was lazy, Meghan didn't want to do the work. They try to call Harry lazy as well. Like people are going to believe that. They're only there for the money, those kind of things. When the truth is, they are celebrating and uplifting the real lazy people. And but for the pushback, they would just get away with it clean. When I go through the social media, like today, gosh, what was it? It was something of Harry's. I forget what it was, right? Just about everything I see, every thread, every article, anything about Harry, they start sharing the story of African parks, of the situation with the African parks. Why would you want to support somebody like that? No, I got a better question. Why would you want to support a person like this? That's the question. I would almost feel sorry for the two of them, except this is what they asked for. They wanted Harry and Meghan gone. They wanted the spotlight. This is like a bad joke that has gotten so far out of hand. But this is what they asked for. They wanted this attention, and they got it. And what did they do with it? Nothing. Nothing. What are they going to do when Charles is gone? And who is going to teach George his position? Who's going to teach him? There's no Queen Mother. There's no Queen Elizabeth. There's no Philip. Charles is not really part of their lives. So who's going to teach them? Camilla? And you know what? Maybe it's better. Maybe it's better. Maybe George will be more effective without the input from the likes of them. Maybe that'll make him a better person. But what prepares him? And if there is someone who's trying to prepare him, I can only imagine that William is a huge obstacle where there should be common sense and someone to teach the role to the future king. Only time will tell. Only time will tell. But yeah, so again, thank you so much for your question, because I don't mind sharing my feelings about that, and I'm always glad to do it. But I enjoyed seeing Meghan in that role, and then I kept looking at these articles and seeing and hearing these negative things. I'm trying to celebrate this moment, seeing this African American woman doing these extraordinary things. And I'd love to see people in spaces that are so unlikely. I don't care what race they are. I don't care what the gender is. I don't care about any of that stuff. But it inspires me to see someone in a space that wasn't necessarily available for them in the past, that is so unlikely for them, because it says, hey, you can do anything. You can be anybody you want to be. You can do whatever you want to do. That's always fun for me. But then when I realized that it was what it was, the way things were, and the whole mental drain that it was on Meghan, and the fact that it was torturous. And then they do it again for the Queen's funeral. Everything that they were holding back, everything, all of the blows that were too far to reach, they decided, well, we got this, so unleash the Kraken. They went after him live on television, day after day after day. They had every opportunity to do the right thing, especially using the excuse that someone has died. The whole nation is in the period of mourning, and they could not have been nastier. If they would have tried to be any nastier, it would have been impossible. And all of the young people that they're hoping to get on their side, they watched it in HD stereophonic sound, just like the rest of us, day after day. I would have never known that there was something missing from Harry's uniform. So Harry puts the uniform on, and then they make a big deal about the cipher. A cipher? What about it? They didn't give him the cipher for the uniform. Nobody would have known one way or the other. But someone from Kensington Palace leaked that information out there while Harry is grieving for his grandmother. They decided, let's humiliate him by exposing the fact that he's not wearing the cipher, that he was not allowed to wear the cipher because he's no longer a senior working royal, and that he has been stripped of all of his dignity. All of his military accoutrements have been removed. And we got to make sure that everybody in the world knows it. That's the Harry that they say is coming back to help out. I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't. Because that is never going to stop. He said it. A lot of people have said it. Anybody who knows how that goes, they know that protection racket called the British tabloid media is never going to stop. They will never yield. They don't love that family. They do not love that family. They treat the family like pets. Those families are curiosities. They're in a zoo. Yeah, you don't ever want to get in striking distance, but otherwise you control everything around them. And they are just like pets in a cage. So, okay, and I'll let that be the last word of the day. They are pets, curiosities. Okay, so you guys, I have talked way too long. I've talked for like another 30 minutes here. So I'm going to go. Thank you all so much, and I will see you all tomorrow. And of course, whenever we see our queens, it is time to go. And you know what I mean. All right, there's our queens. Now let me cue the Ginger Avenger, and I will see you all tomorrow. TCC's son. I'm just coming home. Is it true Tokyo got the Invictus Games for 2027? UK lost. Is that the case? I didn't hear anything. Let me see. Is there any chatter about that? I haven't heard anything about it, but I hope so. I didn't hear anything about it. Let me see. IG 2027. Look at bidding to host already counting days to possible next. Well, I don't see anything, but I hope that's the case. But anyway, TCC's son, we were just about to leave. Anyway, I need to send you a photo, TCC's son. I'm going to do that as soon as I police everything. I need to tidy my desk before I send you a photo. But I am very keen to show it to you. I have not forgot, and I want to do that, but I got to tidy my desk. So do stay tuned for that. I will send that to you, and thank you so much for being here tonight, and thank you for everything. Let me see. Oh, almost forgot your bell. Let me see. Anybody else? IG 27? I didn't hear anything. Okay. Really? That has been reported today on. Really? I didn't hear anybody else mention it. Okay. And I didn't see it anywhere on the Twitter sphere. And has there been a formal announcement by the Sussexes? I'm not saying it's not true, but I just have not seen it anywhere. Let me see. I'm going to go to the Invictus website. I mean, we should know, right? Foundation, Invictus Game Foundation. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm looking at their website. I don't see it. Okay. And I'm looking at news and media. I don't see it. So, yeah, I hope it is true, but I don't see it. Okay. Okay, so someone else saw it. Yeah, I'm looking at the Invictus website and I don't see it. Invictus Games Tokyo. Yeah. All right. Well, very curious. I don't see it. So I hope it is true, but I don't see it. But that will be great. That will be great if it is true. For 2027. That's what I was looking for. I don't see it. And I did not hear anyone on Twitter or see anyone on Twitter announce it. Oh, I know who would know. Let me take a look and see if there's any mention on her page. Because I swear, I think this one particular squattee lives in Montecito. And if she doesn't have it, doesn't mean that it's not true. It just means that, well, you know. that is just hasn't been a formal announcement yet. Mm. Yeah, she doesn't have anything either. So yeah, let's wait and see, you guys. If we don't hear it from Harry and Meghan, then it's not official. Huh. Okay. Well, I'm looking. Let me see. All right. Well, let's hope that's the case. If not, then we'll find out. Oh, you like that photo of Harry and Peacemaker? Very cool. It's on YouTube. Oh, okay. Well, I'll look for it later. I have not seen it. Um, and also, well, anyway, there's a few sources I can think of, and I'm just like, if they haven't mentioned it yet, then that's interesting. Let me see. Invictus Games, Tokyo. I love Tokyo. God, Tokyo is just amazing. Yeah, if you guys have not been to Tokyo, Tokyo is amazing. I loved it. Huh. Well, I'm looking at the I don't see it there either. All right, well, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, there's some deranged or misinformation. If you guys are sharing information from the deranger sites, I could assure you we're not interested in that. We're not interested in it. The title of the Duchess of Sussex will go to whoever um, um, uh, Archie marries. Archie will be the next Duchess of Duke of Sussex. You tell him, Lorna. Those are deranger sites. Rohini, hey Rohini, what's on? Oh, okay. Well, you guys, you know more than I do about it. I haven't heard anything, but I hope it is Tokyo. I love Tokyo. Anyway, all the best to you guys. Love you all. Good night.